Who told you that you needed permission? Seriously, think about it. At some point in your life, someone, a parent, a teacher, a boss, a partner, maybe even a version of yourself, made you feel like you needed to earn the right to go after what you really wanted. Like greatness was something that got handed to you if you were good enough, quiet enough, patient enough, or lucky enough. And somewhere along the way, you started waiting. Waiting to be chosen, waiting for someone to notice you, waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right nod from the right person that finally said, yes, you're allowed. I need you to hear this today and let it land. Nobody is coming to give you that permission, and even if they did, you never needed it. Welcome to Motivation Daily. This is March 9th, and today we are talking about the invisible cage that most people spend their entire lives inside of without ever once questioning the lock. Here's how the permission trap works. It starts small. You have an idea, a business, a creative project, a bold career move, a conversation you've been too afraid to have, and the first thing your brain does is look around the room. It looks for validation. It looks for someone to say, that's a good idea, before you let yourself believe it's a good idea. It looks for a green light before it will let you move. And when that green light doesn't come, or worse, when someone actively tells you it won't work, you file the idea away. You tell yourself it wasn't the right time. You tell yourself you'll revisit it. And then, quietly, painfully, you watch someone else do the exact thing you were too afraid to start. Someone with less experience, someone with fewer resources, someone who simply decided they didn't need anyone's blessing to begin. That is one of the most brutal feelings in the world, not because they succeeded, but because you know that could have been you. So where does this come from? Why are so many of us wired this way? Because for most of our lives, permission was actually required. As children, we needed adults to approve our choices. In school, we needed teachers to validate our answers. In our first jobs, we needed managers to sign off on everything we did. The system trained us, literally trained us to wait for the authority figure before we acted. And that training runs deep. But you are not a child anymore. You are not in a classroom waiting to be called on. You are a grown adult with the capacity to think, to decide, to build, to fail, to learn, and to try again. And the authority figure you've been waiting for, that's you. It has always been you. Let me tell you about the kind of people who change the world, or even just their own corner of it. They are not always the most talented. They are not always the most educated or the most connected or the most prepared. The one thing they almost always have in common is this: they stopped asking for permission before everyone else did. They launched the business before the business plan was perfect. They sent the pitch before they felt qualified. They raised their hand before they were sure of the answer. They moved before they were ready, because they understood something that most people never figure out. There is no moment when you will feel fully ready. Readiness is not a destination, it is a decision. And the decision is yours to make, right now, without anyone's approval. Now, I want to address something, because someone watching this is thinking it. They're thinking, but what if I fail publicly? What if I try and it doesn't work and everyone sees it? What if I step out, claim my greatness, and fall flat on my face? Then you fall. And you get up, and you know something you didn't know before, and you try again with that knowledge. Public failure is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You know what's worse? Private regret. The kind that visits you at 2 a.m, decades from now, when you're lying awake thinking about all the things you were too afraid to try. That regret doesn't heal. That regret compounds. And unlike failure, which teaches you, regret just hollows you out. I will take a visible public failure over a quiet, private regret every single time. And once you truly internalize that, the fear of trying loses most of its power over you. So here's what I want you to do after this video ends. I want you to think about the one thing you have been waiting on permission for. The dream you've been sitting on, the move you've been too scared to make, the thing you keep saying you'll do when the time is right, when you're more ready, when someone believes in you enough to push you forward. Got it? Good. Now I want you to take one action toward it today. Not a plan, not a vision board, not a conversation about it with a friend. One real action. Send the email, make the call, write the first paragraph, buy the domain, book the appointment. Whatever the first concrete step is, take it, today, before the sun goes down. You don't need a mentor to green light you. You don't need 1 million followers to validate you. You don't need your family to understand you before you start. You don't need the market to be perfect, or the timing to be ideal, or the stars to align in your favor. You just need to decide that you are done waiting. Greatness is not assigned, it is not inherited, it is not reserved for people with better circumstances or bigger platforms or more fortunate beginnings. It is built, brick by brick, decision by decision, day by day, by people who got tired of asking for permission and started moving anyway. You are one of those people. You always have been. Stop waiting, stop asking, stop holding yourself at the door of your own life. Walk through it. If this is the push you needed today, share it with someone who's been waiting for their own permission slip. Subscribe to Motivation Daily. We show up every single day because you deserve a daily reminder of what you're capable of. Leave a comment and tell me, what have you been waiting for permission to do? Today is the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Keep going.